Good morning, brother.
Hey, good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm good, Mike. How are you, sir?
Good, man. It's early, huh?
Yep. Glad to hear your voice, man.
Glad to hear you too, man. Oh, did I have my ski shirt? There we go. Now you guys can see. How is everybody doing?
What's up? Just got up, man. Like 45 minutes ago. How you doing?
Good, man.
But
You see a lot of people, being up early. It's pretty see anything but. Can you see it now, Dimitri?
Yeah, it shows on our screen. Good morning, guys. It's Fahad.
yeah, I can see the trading screen.
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you
Morning.
guys hear me?
Hey,
Yeah, I can hear you.
good, brother.
Hey, what's up, man? Not much. So, analyst performanti.
Yep.
So, yeah, man.
Because of you, we're having a call in the morning.
Yeah, man. This is nice. I get to check your what's it called, your premium.
Yeah. And see, one of those things is, bro, like the only reason we're having this call, everyone is simply right. The main reason is that right there's one thing that's just like everything we always have. We talked about it in the issues in the past about trading. In our past webinars and everything. So the big reason we're gonna have the call today is simply just so that people don't feel like that they're being cheated in the market by these big firms or anything like that, because it really honestly, like personally, it's really not. The reason why I'm saying that is of course, some of you guys have different views. Like analyst has his own view, he'll put his own view up so you guys can literally understand both sides, or what other people think as well. But personally, what I believe is this, right? Like, it's the reason is that a lot of people struggle to make money in the market, right? So what happens is when a lot of people are struggling to make money, and then they invest time, and then they invest money into trading and get nowhere, but then there's somebody pushing the factor that, oh, it's the big firms will always make you lose somehow. It doesn't matter, they're like following you, they're kind of watching over you or anything like that. What happens is that kind of drives the factor that all the time that somebody has put in, they might just even be like, okay, like that's one of those things is that where somebody's about to make it, like they're very close, and let's say they're like 30 days away from actually starting to make money or anything like that. A discouragement like that can actually bring you down and can actually just kind of end a lot of things. So that's one of those things is that a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into it. So that's one of the big reasons why I kind of want to come over and be like, no, it's not like that. Or because like I've been trading for a long time too. And then also another reason is that it's something that I do every day, and it's my passion, it's my work. So I gotta defend it, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
Understood.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys? So what's your like? Let me hear your guys' views. Like first, like, and like, what's your like mentality behind the fact that how these like you guys are saying in the firm? Because a lot of times I'm not really always in the chat room, but I always kind of read stuff and to get like a full picture, if you guys want to go ahead and
On the yeah, for sure. On the algo trading, I mean, I think I had mentioned it a couple of times. But it wasn't that I felt like, oh, I'm, like this is happening right now. I mean, sure, my entry on like for instance, I got what was it? Sometimes I was wrong, sometimes I wasn't. I just realized yesterday, a little something about my entries. So there's certain indicators that will line up, and I'm realizing that that's when I should be going in on a specific trade. So I guess I would have to go back and just kind of check if this was a squeeze or if it wasn't a squeeze. I mean, but
Just a quick
yes.
question, man. Are you talking about like the TTM squeeze?
No, I'm talking about a squeeze from, from say from like the broker, not the broker. It could be the broker. It could be um, it could be the liquidity providers as well. Just trying to do some, like not making the stock move. It is possible based off of what that other guy said. What was his name? PD. I'm not sure. PD1. He said he was like a.
He was good last night too. He was like, because he was doing the same thing that I was doing, because like he had the same type of thing, because I feel like he kind of read how I was going through, and that's what he was going over too. And I asked him that if he should be on the call, and he said, he can't be right now because of work. So that's that. But we'll talk about it. But
Yeah, I feel like he does have like a little bit of, he's got some insight on it. I mean, I think I had called it out too. I'm pretty sure we have like someone who works for, for one of these firms in here. And I mean, he didn't mention anything at that point, but it sure would have been, like informative for us to see, hey, you know what, like this is.
I think B-Dub worked as a, I think he worked as a maker.
Yeah, he was a programmer. I think he said he was an engineer for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what probably he said.
On the tech side.
Are we
Yeah.
Are we talking about PD4 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like PD 184 or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good friend of mine. I'm the one that got him onto the chat, and he is a software developer. Yes.
Yeah. So you know how he I think he's. I mean, from what he was saying, like I think I had kind of pointed some of that stuff out before,
Okay.
and so it's like, but I don't know if you guys paid attention to the fact that he said that they can do it. They can, like, it's just illegal for them to do it. So it's like, let's say your broker does squeeze, like your broker has they have the stock itself. Let's say they have like so many orders of Tesla. They have like, I don't know, maybe 100,000 shares of Tesla, more than 100,000. And with these shares, what they can do is they can essentially not send out the orders of shares, like the sales that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
But the options, they can still do it. Well, the options will be sent, but the actual shares won't be, so it won't be like the accurate stuff being reflected on there.
Yeah, which makes sense, but it still would be in the fact that it wouldn't be more than, like, if you really think about it, right? If the firm has bought shares, like technically, let's say at 468 or, like way earlier, it still would have to show up on time and sales, wouldn't it? Right? Because if it doesn't, then that's not really proper, right? Then technically trading, how should I say, what are those CFDs, right? That don't even affect the market at all.
Yeah. I mean,
that's one of the big things, right? Is that every order has to go through and be seen by public, right? Because it's public information. So the algos that technically, how, from my end, guys, like one of those big things, right? I'm no guy. I'm not anybody that's been like that has been working, with algos for like years or anything like that. But from my understanding and from what I have used in the past, algorithms only can affect you with the span of like 10-cent spread or a 20-cent spread. How does that work? Like, from my understanding, just to give you guys an example, is that let's say if there's a spread between this stock, which is the buy and the ask, right? So the buy is at 460, right? 75, and then the ask is at 460.80, right? So the thing is, what happens is, once your order is put through, right? We've always talked about this many times, that a lot of these algorithms, these are like millisecond algorithms. Meaning what happens is, when you send your order out, they already send their order out way before you, right? So what happens is, they send their order out, and then what happens is they get filled at, let's say, at the bid or before the bid, right? Somehow because they're way, way faster, right? So like, because you're thinking of going long. So let's say you're thinking of going, to the upside, and they already send their order out, they get filled. And then what happens is once you sell or you buy, they sell to your buy. So they kind of target that 5 cent spread that's there. Like, hopefully you guys kind of understood that. That was kind of a little bit,
Yeah, I mean, like yes. So I think on the algorithms, like there's a lot of firms or a lot of companies that use algorithms here. So one of them is brokers, market makers, high frequency trading firms, liquidity providers.
Yep.
So there's different, and then even like on our end, we can use algorithms too, right? I think there's like, what is that? Flux algo is like one of them. I think that's what you, or not, someone was saying something like that you have some type of buy sell thing, and that's,
yeah,
so those are,
this is like kind of like my algo that I made. So
yeah, so kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Like there's different uses of the algos, right?
But
I mean, like,
even if I follow this, I promise, I've said it. How clean does it look? It looks like it's perfect, right? And this is real time too, right? And the thing is, but the issue is the psychology behind it. I promise you, I'll give all of like this to every one of you guys, and you still fail. I promise you.
yeah,
And it's not me saying that it's not good enough, but it's just not. That's not how trading works. Trading is all about psychology, right? That's one of the big things that, kind of like I was going over in the chat. You like even you think more of like, I believe like you believe in trading as, being more like just like based off charts or everything like that, which, it's perfectly fine. Everybody's got, their beliefs, and it's all good. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
oh no, you're good. I mean, like, I guess on that, like, I mean, I had kind of told myself before, like as far as like trading in the range,
Mhm.
one of the reasons why I hate trading in the range.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, like I think I mean, to still keep it in, in the whole algo stuff, or how, it can be traded against you. I think you mentioned that the broker was, or their main goal is to just kind of take the difference between the bid and the spread.
But
And
that's what I'm saying
I,
though. That's the main difference. Like, if they only hurt you for like, let's say, 5 cents, because they already send their order out, they get filled, and then once you buy, they sell to your order. So meaning, like, let's say you buy 100 shares. I put in 100 shares here, or 50 shares. I press
yeah,
the buy button. It goes to the broker, and then what happens is the broker is way faster because they have, like we said, lightning fast internet. They have lightning fast routing. So what happens is they send their routing out, right? So their 50 shares goes in first in the market. They buy at the 75 cent mark, right? So where you place the order, right? Because you place the market order, you're going to get filled at 0.80, because that's going to be where the broker is going to be selling you their shares. So you mostly probably get filled on the broker's share, meaning that's like the high frequency algos that are behind it, right? One of those big things is also, if you really think about it, if there's algos out there, then all it is, we just have to, like, if there's long-term algos, like even, let's say you're kind of saying, right? I'm not taking a shot at you, bro. I'm just, going over, just like kind of, we're just talking.
yeah,
But if there's high frequency algos, then it means that somebody has figured out what the strategy is and how it works, right? Because if there's long-term algos, then it basically means like even you were saying, let's say, your option was up 30% and then they reverse it, right?
yeah.
Why would you buy that option? Why don't you buy something that's crazy out of the money and get 100% on that? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
little bit like logic kind of missing from, that aspect, because all it was just like, if you just improve your strategy, which would mean either kind of changing the options up or changing up your strategy into figuring out, okay, I'll just go with the 30% this time. And, let me find a setup on where, guess what, where, Zoom kind of dumps like this, right? And I make, right, 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not always you get those 100% movers, right? Not always you get those, big movers, right? Because all it is sometimes it's just the difference of the options, right? If you're buying near in the money options, of course, sometimes on a move, they're not going to move like this $34 option isn't going to move 100%, right? On a small move of a stock, right? What
Yeah.
if you go into, an option that's like 10 cents or 15 cents, right? Like some of these options right here that are like $4, right? These can easily move 100%, wouldn't they? Like
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
really think about it, right? So that's one of those big things, right? Like stock was kind of heading down mostly, right? Let's do this one right here. Any one of these, 410, it's fine. Because right, we're kind of seeing better moves to the upside. Look, right, this was more than look, $4 to $8. That's 100% move, right? But if you were thinking that you're gonna get that 100% move every time, that won't happen. Why? Well, because nobody's good enough, right? If somebody is that good to get like 100% move every day, then it's like fucking magic, wouldn't it be? Right? Then there wouldn't be kind of any like I would just be a billionaire then, because if I'm able to get 100% every day, I would just start with a $500 account, take it to $1 billion by the end of the year, right? Because literally all you have to do is double even, $1, right? Like
Oh
30
yeah.
times, and you'll be a trillion or bazillionaire. Not even more than that, probably.
That's crazy.
Right? Because if you really understand the doubling method, or the exponential growth factor of that, right? It's insane. So that's one of those things is that, like, look, see, this did it. Look, it did it one time here. It did it one time here. So like the options do these 100% moving days. It's just sometimes we're not good enough to pick up on these. Why? Well, because as traders, as human beings, we have a lot of things stopping us, which are psychology, right? Mainly, right? Going over the fact that, yes, the stock is breaking a trend, right? Do we go in? But what if you understand, right? Like it's just in a chess, right? Like you were even saying in a chess match, if I already know what you're going to do, would I not do something else to kind of, right? Right? So like, if you're looking at a trend to break, right? Or, consolidation to break, wouldn't I trap you? And that's where the traps come in. The only reason traps happen is because they're preset. I've traded traps so many times, and we've kind of known before traps even, take place. And how does that happen? All it is just past patterns, right? We always talk about how the same type of people trade the same way, right? And then that's like the same issue of, if you're losing for so long, all you have to do is what Prophet was saying was do this, right? Negative Roku, right? Just look at this chart and then trade Roku, how you would trade, right? To the upside, right? Every time you think this stock is about to go up, then trade it, because, every time it seems like, it just drops, but it's not the stock, right? That's stopping you out. It's your psychology that's stopping you out, right? A stock can literally, you can be long here, and the reason you got stopped out here wasn't because the stock moved down or the stock wasn't going to move up. It was mostly because your psychology kicked in and you got scared out, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And that was the big reason why I was kind of going haywire in the chat room, because I wanted to kind of put my kind of thinking, in front of you guys. And I feel like, if I'm not telling you guys how it really is, like if, something is not working out, then it's not a problem in the whole market. The whole market doesn't care about the $5,000 or, 20,000 or even the 200K or the 500K that I put into the market every day. They don't give a shit, right? Because they know they're not going to be able to take all 100% of it, right? Because even the options that I trade, right? If I go that highly leveraged, that means that I have like 400 or 500 contracts, right? On a $5, contract, right? And if I go all in with that and lose everything within a span of a minute or 2 minutes, that's different, right? Then you can say, holy shit, I got scammed or something, right? But if you go in with, 500K and you lose 100K because your strategy didn't work out, that's 100% acceptable, right? Right? Because it's just, at the end of the day, kind of defining your strategy. Where are we going with Arch? Recently found of doing. Yeah, Robinhood was found of doing that little, front running, right?
So what's the best strategy?
What's the best strategy? Bro, I don't know if I can reveal that though. Right?
I mean,
I'm
I
joking.
don't know.
I'm joking. So strategy,
That's
the best
how you pay,
strategy,
bro.
find the worst strategy and then just reverse it.
Find the worst strategy and reverse it. Okay.
Yes. Because let's say if you just keep on losing, right? You keep on losing, and if you just kind of reverse that, wouldn't you keep on winning?
But I thought I had a good strategy because I turned
What's
in
your
2 months.
strategy?
I turned 11,000 to 100,000,
Okay.
and I literally am back at 11,000.
Yeah.
in the matter of 3 days, I'm back to 11,000. That's crazy.
Yes. You know what that is? That's not the strategy, buddy. So your strategy is still good. All it is your psychology. Because you couldn't control your first loss or your loss that kind of took you back. You know what I mean? Like probably you took a big loss and then you wanted to make that big loss back because you thought that, you were confident in yourself, right?
Exactly.
And then you took another big loss and they started shit, what have I done, right?
Hey,
And then
Matty.
another bad trade. So instead, where you could have just that loss and kind of stopped, right? Been like, holy shit, I'm gonna move away from the day. I'm gonna move away for the next couple of weeks and actually learn about the stock market, how it works, and kind of over my strategy and some of my past trades and see how I took those trades and how they ended up working. So, that's one of those things. And then also another thing is having a strategy is always good, but then of course recording, right? Understanding the aspect of taking notes on your strategy, understanding the aspect of trader views, understanding the fact of taking, making Excel sheets, understanding why you need to have those records, right? Because it's about going back and, understanding why did you take the trade? Did you take the trade because you were just sitting there and being bored? Or I forgot to post a trader view the other day when I lost 17K, and the reason I lost 17K was because I couldn't keep my hands off. Just like you guys, I'm human, right?
Yeah.
I go to the market every day. I still have those bad days. You guys have been trading for 8 years now, and I still have those days where I can't keep my fucking hands off computer, right?
Yeah.
And it happens. It's nothing to kind of, not.
Hey, Manny, it's Raul.
Go ahead.
Just wanted to point out, I don't know who was talking before this, but I think one of the other issues, I'm in a similar boat too. Made a boatload of money in the month of August and then gave it all back, as soon as September 1st hit. I think one of the other things that I'm dealing with is, sometimes not being able to cash out, take small losses and cash out. Like if your position starts to reverse, especially on shares, I have a tendency of I'll wait it out for it to come back up, as opposed to, just selling and then buying at a lower point again. That's also a psychology that I've been trying to teach myself, and I think it's an issue for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Who was it though who took that 11K, 200K, and now it's back?
Javi.
Javi?
Yes, I
Bro, sorry
messaged
for
you
your
in the
loss,
chat
man.
earlier.
Gotcha. All right, man. Yeah, man. I mean, so the big thing about what Rahul said, right? If you really think about what Rahul said, he said that he can't get out of the positions, right? Because she thinks, right, the mentality works like this, right? Let me show you guys the mentality. It's so funny, and I go over it because I still remember it till this day. Right? What happens is you're long a stock, right, at 195, and you are up about, let's say, 20K or so, right? You are up about a 20K or so. What happens is the stock starts coming down. So you start, you go from 20K up to about 10K up. Then you feel like, holy shit, what have I done? I've lost 10K. Now you want this stock to even go up to 198.50 so you can have it at 15K, right? But the fact is that it's never going to fucking go to 15K because that's not the pattern that's playing on it. What's clouding our judgment is the money. right? That we lost. It's not actual trading. It's actually the money, the psychology, right? And that's not an algo just fucking there to get you either. It's all it is just ourselves fighting against ourselves, right? So our fucking brain is telling us that, holy shit, you lost about 10K. You need to make some of that back. Why? Well, because literally from a young age, right? Guys, if you're able to get a toy, what do you need for that? Are your parents doing well? Were they able to afford it? Okay, if they were able to afford it, how did they do it? They did it with money. If they're not able to afford it, why weren't they able to afford it? Because of money, right? So the money is the aspect that's kind of surrounding us, right? What do you need to eat? Money. What do you need to drive? Money. What do you need to pay the insurance? Money. What do you need to do, right? Like what do you go to work for every day? Literally 8 hours a day, right? If you work 8 hours a day, why did you go to work? For money. Don't you think that kind of stays in your head? All of that 8 hours, understanding that, holy shit, I'm working here for money. And then if you lose, think about it, 8 grand out of those 20 grand, wouldn't your kind of brain kind of think the same way? Like, holy shit, this is a very, very important thing that you lost. Dude, fix this shit, right? Right now. As humans, we are made to or designed to be the best, right? Because like over time, we've evolved from people literally kind of just, barely walking on our 2 feet to now walking on our 2 feet and having literally technology that we're looking at, charts. So we are kind of made and designed to improve ourselves over time. So kind of looking at that loss, what happens is our brain kind of triggers that thing where it's like, holy shit, dude, you've lost something very important. You got to get some of that back, right? If not all, you're going to get some of that back. So what happens is once you go back or you stay in, right, your psychology kicks in, and now you're kind of thinking of a move that's not going to happen, right? So the stock goes more down. Now you're at 5K. Now that 10K that you were at seems way good, right? So now you're just like, holy shit, if I just get a small pullback, I'll get out at 10K, right? At least that's something, right? But guess what? The stock drops more, then you lose. Now you're losing. Now you're like, holy shit, I'll just break even, right? When you're about to break even, you're actually down 10K, right? So that's how the psychology works, is that why wouldn't, honestly, that's one of the big challenges that every trader has, is simply kind of understanding that, holy shit, I fucked up. I didn't take profit at 200. Why? Because it's a big whole number. A lot of people are going to be waiting to sell on there. Very easily, there can be a sell wave trigger right there. So why not take the 3 or 4 point profit, usually, on this stock, rather than try to go for these home runs every day where you're not consistent, right? So one of those big things, as you guys know, I take my profit usually around, I would have taken it around 199.50 or 199. Why? Well, because I understand how psychology works, and sometimes they won't even bring this stock up to 200. The only reason they brought it up to 200 was because it was there before, right? So one of the big, actually it wasn't, right? It wasn't there before. Was it?
Yeah, that all makes sense. It really is psychology, and we just gotta adapt basically, because there are times that I've been up 10K back down to 5K, but I waited out, and sometimes it worked out for me. I went from 5K to 15K.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it would go down even more, and now I'm down 5K. So.
And all it is this, man. It's kind of perfecting your strategy, right? Understanding, right? Kind of like magnifying into fucking, the strategy and deleting everything that's wrong, right? Same thing like coding. That's why I love coding too, because it's kind of like, it's like a mental, like a break little, kind of thing. Like it kind of gives you that high of figuring shit out, right?
Okay. You're into coding, you said?
I like to kind of code too. I'm gonna start, kind of working with like JavaScript and stuff like that, and hopefully try to make an app or something.
Nice.
Because it's just like fun, honestly.
Nice.
But yeah, guys, like honestly, right? Like that's one of the big things, right? We get a lot of people in the chat, right? Analysts, like I got nothing against you, my guy, but like the only reason I took it to heart was simply because you really thought I was mad that you were scaring people. I don't care if you scare people, right? But the issue is that some of these people have put so much time and effort into something where if all you see is, right, like just like this, right? If you're running against Usain Bolt, you're never gonna win. Honestly, a lot of people aren't even gonna try, right? But what if you fucking never knew that you had this potential of beating them, or even being number 2, right? Because time is gonna fucking pass, dude. Dude, they're in like another 5 years, Usain Bolt isn't gonna be the fastest fucking runner out there, right? Somebody faster is gonna come through, right? That might be you, or what if there is nobody that's faster than him? So what happens is, guess what? You become, the second best, which is fine, right? Because you don't have to be perfect, just like we said, right? Every time. So that's how the market works. You don't have to be perfect. All you need to be is just, good enough to kind of take profit and walk away, right? Understanding, right? Yesterday in the video, because I talk about every single one of my trades. The 3 trades that I took on NVIDIA, right? 2 of them were failed, right? And did we not go over every single one of them, honestly? Right? Tell me if I hid something from you guys, or if I took a trade that I didn't call it out, right? I shorted this thing here in the 520s, and this thing ripped up all the way up to 522, and I took a 18K loss, right? And guess what? I started going long this stock here, right? And it wasn't able to support, so I got out again, right? And then finally, I took it long again here, right? And I just took it out all the way up here, right? So the issue is that I didn't wait for this thing to kind of, how should I say, all it was me cutting my losses quick, right? Understanding that, okay, now the stock has broken pre-market highs. There's no chance this stock, might come down. And all NVIDIA wanted to do was just trap people, right? It trapped me yesterday many, many times. It made me take about 22K out, right? But the issue is I made 15 of that back on this one good trade, right? So that's how it works, is that, if you're able to buy, right, into, let's say 520s, 522s, and you're able to kind of start selling at your target. What our target was 525s, right? So above 525 was 526. So mostly, it was going to hit 520, 550s, right? We had a trend line, something like this, right, coming up, where the stock was going to run into resistance here at $26. So that helps big times with options. Why? Well, the volatility, when the volatility kicks in and, option prices skyrocket and, you see that one big, huge, major candle to the upside, you're going to know before that happens. And how do you know that? That's not, like, the only reason I know that it's going to happen is if the stock is going to have a big candle, I most likely know that, option for NVIDIA is going to literally skyrocket up like, 50 cents extra, right? And that's because of the liquidity, right? So what you do is you just sell into that liquidity, right? Simple, right? And that's one of those big things, right? A lot of people were probably shorting into that, and I was the one that was, not shorting, buying into that because they're trying to chase and they're trying to buy the highs. So what happens is you're selling, right? And that's the thing comes into it where analyst was saying kind of like, that's why he's like a little bit more kind of in toward the fact that like he's moving toward the thing where, dude, they already know, where the stock's going to reverse or this or that. Not really. All it is they're just kind of doing their job that they've been doing for so long, and they're just good at it, honestly.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think on that, I would say, like the bad thing, I think on entries. So let's say, that's another thing. Yeah, I think I was pointing that out was that, like a lot of people who have under the 25K, right? So they don't have as many opportunities. So they have to be positionist. Yeah. Whereas to, like, I think, you have 2 advantages that most people here, are probably out of. And that's one of the advantages is your capital, right? You've got the over 25K. And then, the second advantage is of course, or another advantage is that that you have the well, really it's the day trades, because like he can actually, like we can't let's say, you know, we notice something, you know, like one of the moving averages going down, or let's say one of the indicators is going down, and we start to notice, okay, dang, I got a bad entry on here. Like I could have just waited a little bit. But for us, it's like once we're in, we're pretty much screwed, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you
So
can't
what
take
we do is
day
this,
trades. And
this is not the best way of doing it, but right, look into something like this, offshore brokers, right? You're playing with a small amount of money. I know a lot of, you know, money of course means a lot to people, right? But
Yeah.
I promise you, bro, try this out. Try this out where you have more entries. I promise you're gonna lose more money because it's psychology. I promise, dude. I'm not saying it like that. Like I'm actually being for real. Like you can ask a lot of people that are in the chat, dude. I fucking had the worst fucking time of my life when I actually went over the PDT, right? Because it's so fucking bad when you can't control your fucking hands, right? And that's what the market's designed to do. If it's solely designed to do that, how hard, like when you're in a position, right, and you can't like go in and out, what you can do is you can sell, let's say, what if you do it the other way, right? What if you buy these calls and you're about to lose, then, you know, you buy the opposite puts, right, to cover the loss. What if you do it like that, right? Because then you can have unlimited entries, right? But then, of course, then it becomes a capital issue. So then you're gonna have to trade out of the money options, right? Right? Of course, you know, I'm not just saying, you know, it's easy as just buying, you know, the opposite, you know, options. But the issue is, guys, I only traded 5 times yesterday, and that was way more than what I would have traded. Honestly, I would have done 3 trades. 2 of my biggest, dude, the 50K that came, right, came from literally 2 trades, one on Zoom and one on Tesla. That's it. And the other 3 trades made me 15K, barely. I mean, actually, my bad. I'm sorry. The other 3 trades made me lose 3K. Actually, sorry about that, because gotta correct myself there. Yes, Martina. And the issue is that, you know, the government, I mean, you know, as much as you want to say the government is, you know, this or that, dude, honestly, bro, the reason they've done this PDT rule is so they can protect the people, right? Because a lot of people are new in the market and they understand the psychology behind it, right? They understand how when somebody new comes in, when they have less than, you know, 25K or this, right? They want to kind of invest their money again and again and try to grow it too many times. And then, of course, right, they don't want to kind of offset the balance of where there's just, you know, somebody with $500 just keeps going in and out, and there's millions of people, just like how, you know, the people from, like they said, you know, people that cause the squeeze of some of these stocks on TikTok or this or that, right? You know, of course, that's a big issue too, but mostly the government isn't kind of after you. The government actually, that rule actually probably is making you lose less money, honest opinion. The
yeah, I
people,
guess I kind of, sorry, I think I do have a little bit of a, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinions, right?
yeah,
But I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I guess my view on that is, you know, like, because most people end up losing all their money. Like, let's say option traders, right?
Mhm.
They end up losing all their money anyway. So it's kind of, you know, like, obviously it's something that hasn't been looked at in a while, but I mean, it
Would you,
it seems like it's kind of, we're if the less money you have, I mean, realistically looking at it, the less advantages that you have, or, you
of
know,
course,
like you have to be a
100%.
positionist. You know what I'm saying? Like you have
Those
to be
things, right?
really.
Why do we say long-term trading is always a winner? Well, I mean, unless your luck is fucking shitty, right? Like you technically shouldn't be losing for long term, right? Am I right? Like if you really think about it, like the market designed to go up, man. Like, look, tell me when the market. Oh shit, dude! I almost fell there. I was kind of leaning back on my chair. But all right, let's see. Let's go back here. Let's go on the chart. All right, we go back. We'll do max amount. All right, we'll do each quarter. Bro, look, the market has never fucking lost. Literally, it has always somehow made it come up, right? So one of the big issues is that in the long term, you'll never lose. So some of these big firms, like there's 2 points that, Martino was saying in the chat, right? There's 2 different points, but everything has that opposite, yin and yang, right? A lot of people use that analogy, right? So how that works is this. A lot of these big firms, if they buy over time, right, they understand that a lot of these stocks are going to keep on going up, so they can buy the dips, and they have the advantage of having $1 billion, right? But then the issue becomes, if they're trading with $1 billion, their losses are going to be way fucking bigger than anything what we're going to be able to deal with, right? And then to offset that, they have way many people trading that $1 billion, right? But then to offset that, right, they're still trading the same strategy. So like, do you see how it keeps going up and then it keeps going having a disadvantage and then having an advantage and then having a disadvantage, right? Does that make sense? Or
Yeah.
do you want me to kind of go over it again? Like, does that make sense? How they have an advantage of having a lot of money, but the issue is because, they have too big of positions, their losses are going to be way bigger, right? That's a disadvantage, right? And they can't go in and out really quick, right? And then the other advantage they have is they have thousands of people like us, right? It's not just one person, it's thousands of us. But then so that was probably advantage, right? So one advantage, having a lot of money to kind of, lever, what do you call that? Average down. And then disadvantage was they can't go in and out of positions really quickly. That's a disadvantage. And then the advantage will be they have thousands of traders working for them, analysts that are doing their job, right? They're kind of, predicting the market or doing whatever, right? And then there's, right, another disadvantage will be that they're not going to be able to, what was the last point that we talked about? Shit, forgot.
A disadvantage to me is that I'm not familiar with the whole platform Thinkorswim. I don't know if there's a lot of traders in this room right now that trade like I do, but I trade off my phone, and I know that's not like the best way to trade, but that's how I got familiar with trading. And I'm trying to, that's a huge advantage to you that you know how to use Thinkorswim, and you know how to read charts. So that's another thing.
At the same time, I can't come and fucking teach you how to do that at your home, my guy.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You said that, right? Like that's not on me. That's not on the Agos, is it?
No, not at all.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like I mean, of course, right? It is, yeah. You can say that's an advantage. But then the other advantage is, on your phone, you're able to make less trades, which means maybe you have better chances of losing less money, right? If somebody's really good with, Thinkorswim platforms, but don't know how to trade or is in the beginner state, maybe they would have lost that 11K too.
Yeah.
There's always, an opposite side to it, but it's just kind of learning, honestly. That's why I focus heavily on learning, right, guys? The reason we don't, talk, just like any other chat room, like, yo, buy this course, because no course is going to make you into a fucking good trader. Let me tell you that right now. If you're thinking you're going to be able to pay money and you're going to become a professional trader and not put in any work, you're out of your mind. You want to learn from me? I'm going to tell you to put in the work. Tell me if I'm wrong, like, honestly. And if you're not going to put in the work, then you're not going to do anything, right? But then that's not my fault. That's your fault. That's on you because you're not taking time to learn the strategy. The problem is, if it takes me 8 years to achieve this, it takes you, what, 6 months? How is that fucking possible? Right?
Yeah, you're right.
And even if you want to put in that work, and the problem is, if you put in that work, you're still going to be a little bit behind because it's more of like it becomes a routine as well, right? Right? Let's say for the next 6 months, you read 8 years worth of charts. Will you be as good of a trader as somebody that's been trading for 8 years? Probably not. Why? Well, the mentality, right? Being able to change that psychology from being very young. So like, let's say, you were learned to protect money from age 7, right? Every time you lose, you're fighting against that psychology. How do you think that 18 years or 10 years or 15 years of that psychology you can change in 6 months? Probably not. So there isn't one aspect to trading, right? There's so many things that make us lose, but then you can't just say that something is watching you, because that kind of doesn't make sense. Because if somebody is watching you and making you lose on purpose, then it basically means the world kind of revolves around you, right? So just like how people would say, right? Like the sun revolves around us, not the earth revolves around the sun, right? The same type of issue is that if you're thinking that the market only cares about you, then it basically means it's paying everybody else. So then everybody else should be a millionaire, right? Hopefully if they're not doing the same thing you're doing, but if they're doing the same thing as you're doing, then all of you guys are losing. And then if you're not doing the same thing as, you, then it means they're winning. So all it is why not try to learn the way, right? The proper way of trading, which is kind of just understanding patterns, understanding rhythms of the market, understanding how the market works, right? Rather than having that fear-mongering talk. And that's one of the big reasons we're having this call is simply, right? Because there's no point in pushing something that's not fucking real. Honest opinion, right? Like, let's say if my mentor, like, if I was in the beginning and I did the same thing and, was like, holy shit, man, this market is designed to, do it like that, and he would have been like, holy shit, man, you're crazy and I'm not going to help you and you're done. That's it. But then, of course, I would have, what I would have wanted from, somebody that's kind of like, let's say if I'm even kind of learning from or I'm in the same chat room as, or somebody, that I see, trade every day, I would want him to tell me the real fucking talk, which is, dude, improve your fucking strategy. And that's not going at any particular person. I'm just saying like to myself, like, this is how I would want somebody to tell me, right? Like, be real. Because as long as you keep on pushing those, awards on, guess what, participation awards, it doesn't work. Honest opinion, right? Those participation awards don't do anything except, like, honestly, fuck that participation award. Fuck soccer. Don't even fucking play soccer. Dude, go do fucking coding or something that you're going to be fucking amazing at, right? Stop wasting time at something that, you think or you don't want to kind of, you just want a participation awards for it, right? Am I right? Like this is kind of like my thinking. Like, I'm a little bit backwards of thinking, like, because I know a lot of people kind of take offense to that, and the fact where, yeah, man, everybody should, have a chance or this or that. Whoa, you shouldn't fucking have a chance if you didn't stay up, fucking 200 nights trying to study charts. Same as the other person. Honest opinion.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah, dude, I think I figured. Yeah, for sure, man. I know for sure. Like, there was some entries that I didn't, obviously go in at the best time.
And dude, Alan, dude, how long have I known you from? Dude, like, he's in this chat room since the beginning. And dude, literally one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this was because, I know you. And I was like, dude, I've interacted with you so many times and I've seen you kind of be active in the chat. And all it is, man, at the end of the day, you can still keep that opinion. It's no problem. But all it is just kind of, telling, how it is to everybody else, right? Because I don't want people to just kind of be scared, right? And then think, right? Kind of like, because then being scared and kind of thinking about that, like if you're not focusing on the market alone and you're focusing on the fact that the market is out there to get you, that's going to fucking make your trading bad too, which then goes back to the circle one. Am I right? Like, right?
Scared money don't make money.
That's it, right? Things like that.
Hey, so back to your whole psychology thing, right? I completely agree with you, because if you're up 20K on a particular trade, and nobody's out there to get you, and they gave you that 20K, you didn't take it. That's up to you. You know what I mean? It's not like they were out to get you. They gave you 20K. You didn't take it. You were greedy for more.
Right? And if you lost 20K, you could have made 20K because you had the option of shorting, right? It's just you did it because you didn't see the setup, right? And we're not gonna make it seem like the trading is easy or, you know, all it is just kind of working on your psychology. Man, this is one of the fucking hardest careers ever, right? You're literally going up against some of the best fucking machines, right? So there's people out there to get you, but then those people are people like me. I'm sorry. I'm the
Yeah,
one
no.
that's fucking trading against you, right? A lot of new people, right? Why? Well, because I've been there. I've grown myself from the fact that I was the newbie at a point and understood that I just got to take my fucking lessons and learn them and hopefully, you know, improve over time. So that's one of those big things is that if you're up against somebody, you're up against people just like yourself who have put in the time and who have put in the work and who just have grown over time, right?
I think the other thing that you're really good at is, you know, you're playing both sides of the market. I speak for myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way. Typically, 95% of the money is made in a, you know, bullish market, and everyone feels it's easier on a bullish run.
That's just
But when
because.
it
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. That was my point.
Oh no, that's it. I was gonna say that's just because of long term, right? Because in the long term, there's literally zero chance of you losing, right? If you really just keep if you pick a bad stock, of course, you know, if the stock goes bankrupt, like 100%, you'll lose. But then if you just invest in the U.S. stock market, you will fucking make money. There's literally zero chance that you won't make money, right?
No, what I meant was more like, you know, shorting / put on a super red day. You know, it's easier to ride a green candle, you know, wave up than to, I don't know, it's like mentally, because when you see red, you freak out. I freak out.
Yeah, that's because it's all it is training, man. I had the same issue because I was a long bias trader too. And some of my good trades, like my 200K trade was on Tesla, wasn't it? And it was to the downside. So
Change the color of the candle pink.
what was that?
I said change the color of the candle pink.
I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm that, how should I say, crazy with it, man, honestly. Maybe. But go ahead,
Hey, I
man.
appreciate you taking time out of your day to make this call though.
Yeah,
Make
man.
this happen.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's a little bit of motivation, right? It's understanding how the market works and, you know, stuff like that. That's it.
No, it definitely is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just the potential, like, of, you know, unlocking your full potential, right? That's it. It's literally all it is, you know, over time, you're like, because, dude, a lot of people, right, that think that they lose because of these big firms. A lot of the reason you guys lose, I'm sorry, is because of traders just like me that are way more experienced than, you know, like the reason I lose sometimes is because of those traders too. Simple reason, right? A lot of it is, you know, a lot of some of these stocks, you know, the volatility that you experience at the open in the first half an hour to an hour is literally retail traders. That's it, right? Some algos are in there, right? But then, of course, a lot of it is retail traders. And what are retail traders? They're people just like me and you. Some of them are millionaires. Some of them are maybe a billionaire too. But then at the end of the day, they are retail traders.
So do you use like third-party apps like TradeView or AlgoFlow or
Nah,
Blackbox? None of that? No?
Black Box, fucking Black Box, all it does, I know what Black Box is. And I'm not gonna lie, somebody actually told me about it. Doesn't it give you like signals before these penny stocks move?
Honestly, I have no clue. I've heard about them. I haven't done too much research.
Dude, it's not even like I promise you, man. Anything.
It's not worth it.
Honestly, personally, my opinion, I have used it and I didn't like it. So I don't know about anybody else if it's gonna be worth it for you or no. Like the reason I used it was this is back like a couple of years back when I used to trade penny stocks, right? I think they were like recently they came out with it. So you know it was just like something to kind of look at. All it is man, literally they just kind of, it's a fucking Hive day scanner for pre-market. right? This is just my opinion, by the way.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know, like, wouldn't want them to come after me, but still, it's fucking Hive Day Scanner. I can build that shit in literally a minute.
Yeah, I need to get more. I need to get more familiar with Thinkorswim, the platform, and I need to.
And that's like the tools, right? You're using like every day. If you're using those tools and if you learn how to use a hammer properly, then you're gonna be really good at using a hammer. That's like,
Right.
you know.
I got a question for Panic Cell. I feel myself in a situation like where I take big positions, almost like 10K, 15K, but then as soon as they start losing just like 10%, I try to get out of it just because I feel like, oh, I should limit my loss. But I see them going like 10K becomes 15K, and I'm not in the position. I actually took a $2,000 loss or $3,000 loss.
So what we do is in those situations, we take notes, right? So what happens is because these patterns repeat again and again, next time it happens is next time you're in that psychology, over time, what happens is you start kind of realizing that in the back of your head, and you start kind of, how should I say, start foreseeing these stuff, right? This stuff. And guys, I'm gonna have to end it here in about 3 minutes, but you start foreseeing that stuff. So all it is that it's just kind of, you know, practice over time, man. Honestly, right? But you know, over time though, you'll get better at taking profits at the right time, right? You guys see, I always alert my profits and my losses. I don't just I don't do half-ass shit where if I've taken a long, I don't alert this and, you know, I just let you guys in the dark. Go back like the past 20 days, every trade that I've taken is probably alerted every single time. And I've definitely alerted the profits also where I take profit, right? And the issue is that if it worked like that, like same thing as following doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because of psychology. Simple. There's nothing that's kind of wrong in following. Like, yes, if you really want to kind of, because think about it, man, these algorithms are based off of coding that they follow from the brain so like if you tell a computer to do something, it's following your commands, right? And computer is one of the most powerful fucking things in the, you know, world right now. Am I right? So following has nothing wrong with it. Our brain, our psychology, the way we are brought up, the way we are kind of taught from a young age is what's wrong, right? The big issue is that. Hopefully this made a little bit more sense, guys. Honestly, it's not like me typing in fucking chat, right?
It definitely was good insight. I appreciate it for sure.
Of course, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for taking time out of the day.
Oh yeah, man.
Peace out.
Of course.
All right, let's get this money.
That's it, man. All right, guys, we're gonna have to end it, but you guys have an amazing day. See you guys in the chat. Duffel bag, like Prophet says. Yes, duffel bags, man. You know.
All right, man. Have a good day. All right.
Yep. Bye bye.
You too. Enjoy, guys.
Alrighty, guys. Hey, good luck, guys.